All right, everybody, welcome back. 2014 Ford Fusion. We are going to take the transmission out of this thing. So what we're going to do first, airbox has to come out, tube, battery comes out. That'll open everything else a lot more up here so we can see what else we got to do. All right, now that we got the battery and the airbox out of there, you see we got some room. We're going to take this battery tray out, and then it'll even be opened up more. And now that that battery tray is out of there, you can see we got more room to see what we got to get off here. So this shifter cable, for sure, 1, 2 10s there, this shifter cable come out of the way, and it just pops off of there with a screwdriver. Then we're going to disconnect these, one here and one here, unscrew those. This piece is going to stay with the transmission, and these two go to the cooler that we got to get disconnected from the transmission. Then we will go in here and get bell housing bolts off. There's one right there. There's going to be like 3 of them along the top of here, underneath here. So we'll get there when we get there. So there was 3 of them up here on the top, and they're hard to get to because I don't want to disconnect the coolant system. So you have to kind of fight your way around these hoses and lift them up and get a wobble in there. And there was 3 of them on the top, and then we'll get the other ones from the bottom. And I'm also going to wait to take these 2 off until I'm about to take it out, so that way it doesn't drip training fluid on the bottom the whole time I'm working down there. All right, now that we got it up and we got tires off, I'm going to take axle nuts off before we lift it up anymore. All right, now that we got that done, it's up in the air. We got ball joints. Take that one out, take this one out, spray some lube up in here so it's easier to get them off. I'm just going to take the bolts out for now and leave them. After we got those bolts out of there, what we're going to do is take this whole cross member down. This mount has to come off, this bolt, and this bolt. The rack needs to disconnect from here and here. You got the main bolts to hold it up here and here and here and here. Also, sway bar links bolts have to come off. One on that side, one on this side. After that, we'll drop this down. Alright, so these are the rack bolts. They have blue Loctite on them and they are hard to come out. So if you don't have a strong impact, you're going to need a long bar. Now we got this engine where it'll move in here, so I'm going to push it all the way forward and put a block here. We got to get the starter off, because that's where we're going to get in to get the torque converter bolts out. So we got to get that starter out of there. So it's going to be that bolt right there. It has a 10 millimeter on it for the ground, and then the 13 bolt. And then there's another 13 bolt right there that has to come out also, and that'll take the starter loose. So after you got that starter pushed up out of the way, then you got room in here. Turn this around. And there's the nut right there. There's probably going to be 4 of them. After you got all those nuts off there's 4 of them. Then take these sway bar links off, one on each side. Alright, so these are off. Now we're going to take this bracket off. And then we're going to take out the 4 main bolts after we support it. And we're going to take the cross member down. Okay, so now you got this down a little bit, and now the ball joints need to come out. And this is easy to take them out now because there's not any pressure up on them. Now we'll get these out of there. And I'm gonna fight a little bit to get this out because I didn't want to take the radiator support out. So it has to come back a little ways. And you have to swing the sway bar up over the rack as you come down also. So the whole cross member is out of there. And now you can see how open everything is. Next thing we gotta do is get the axles out. So 1, 2 13s for that strap, and this one pulls right out. And then this one just pops out with a pry bar. And I'm gonna drain it first because it will pour out here if I don't. After you get the axles out, usually there's a plate here. You got to take 2 nuts off to take the plate off, but it's not there. And electrical plug-ins here, and then we'll raise it up and we will take the last motor mount off and hang this thing. All right, here we are back on top. This mount right here and this mount right here are the only thing holding the engine in. So this one's connected to the transmission, so I got to take it off. In order to do that, I got to hang this engine. So I'm going to hook this chain up to maybe this bolt right here and maybe that hole right there. Get me a chain right here that I can put my pick on here and hold this up. So now you can see my contraption. I got it held with some boards across the front and the shock tower, and my chain hooked up here. Good tension on this. Now this mount is going to come off. All right, now it's just this big one and it'll pop out the center. Now what we do is let this down a little bit. Okay, now we take this. Next thing we're going to do is take this piece off. 1, 2. We got to take the weight off, and then there's a couple more under there. So now the only thing left up here is these 2 cooler lines right here that we got to take off. And then we'll go back up and take out the last bell housing bolts and drop this thing out the bottom. So here we are in the air. This bolt and this bolt need to come out, and they're behind this. So we got to take this off and just move it out of the way with those 2. You got 2, 1, and this one you probably got to kind of work out maybe as you move the transmission away. Take this out as you move it away, so it's the last one. Now we're going to get a jack under this thing and take the last bell housing bolts out. It's going to be back heavy when it comes off of there, so it's going to want to fall back. All right, everybody. Ford Fusion front wheel drive transmission. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.